we like going to Cuba because Cuba can't get wheat. So everything all their bread that they make is made from rice flour.
Oh, wow.
So I can eat all their bread in Cuba, which is really nice because I don't have to worry about it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Welcome to Gluten Free YYC. My name is Maggie Mackenzie, and I live in Calgary, Alberta, aka YYC. I've been diagnosed with celiac disease for about 10 years now, and that means that I can't safely eat gluten.
Celiac disease is an autoimmune disease, and it causes a permanent disability to digest gluten. And gluten is found in wheat, in barley, in rye, and in triticale. And it's a protein. When you are diagnosed with celiac disease, that means that you cannot digest that protein that is found in gluten.
Eating gluten-free comes with plenty of challenges, but eating out is one of the biggest. That's why I'm excited to be showing you some of Calgary's fully gluten-free restaurants and bakeries. The Cookie Jar is a gluten-free bakery in Calgary's southeast. First, we'll be chatting with the owner, Lori.
My name is Lori Falconer, and I own the Cookie Jar, which is a totally gluten-free bakery. We opened July 1st. This July will be 6 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Well, I found out that I was celiac, and we kept going to the grocery store, and as you probably know, there's very few options, and things that you don't expect to have gluten in them do have gluten in them, which really sucks. We have a daughter that has a lot of health issues, and we were paying to go to Saskatchewan to see a doctor there that was costing us a lot of money, and we needed a way to pay the bills, and so we started the Cookie Jar. And so here we are 6 years later.
Wow.
And growing every year, even through the pandemic.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How did you grow during the pandemic?
Well, at first it was really, it was a little sketchy.
Right.
Because people didn't know the market was open.
Right.
So we bought our little van and we put signs all over it. And we put the Crossroads Market is still open all over our van. And it helped a lot because people would see us in parking lots and they go, and we've had people follow us to the market or follow us into a parking lot to get our card. And
wow.
Yeah.
Because how long have you been diagnosed?
Well, probably about 10 years, but
Yeah.
I was sick for several years before that, and I kept going to the doctor, and they kept doing blood work, and nobody even thought of celiac. And my husband was hiking with a guy, and he said his wife is celiac, and he told him what was going on with me, and he said, has she ever thought she might be celiac? And we were like, what does that even mean? Right? So we did the research, went off of wheat, felt so much better, and then thought, well, maybe it's just a coincidence, right? Then I ate wheat and did it 3 times, just sick as a dog. So then went back to the doctor. You know, when you're busy, that's the hardest thing is finding something to eat when you're on the fly. I don't know. I have to eat gluten-free, so everything I make and everything I do is gluten-free. And whenever I get a craving, I play with recipes till I get them to work and taste like regular food. That was my goal, is to have things that taste normal. Well, we built a commercial kitchen in our garage.
Wow.
It's all city inspected and permitted and everything. It's never had anything in that kitchen that has gluten in it. So it's totally designated gluten-free. My daughter, when she comes over, she doesn't do gluten-free. So it's like she'll have something and it's like, no, you're not allowed in, wash your hands. You know? Because we don't want to ever make anybody sick.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
It's very important to me because I know what it feels like to get sick from having something with gluten in it. So I don't want to ever do that to a customer. Well, we have several hot items that we serve. We do pizza by the slice, and we sell frozen pizzas that we make right from scratch. We do homemade chili with garlic toast. We do pasta and meatballs. We do chicken quesadillas. We do chicken wings. And in our freezer section, we have shepherd's pies and chicken pot pies and tortillas and frozen chicken wings that you can take home. We have pierogies. just trying to think. I'm trying to go through it all in my head because you forget when you're not.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. And then we have all of our sweets like butter tarts and squares and bread and buns and cookies and I don't even know. We have so much stuff. Muffins and banana breads and all that stuff. Pies and we have so much stuff.
You're making me
But
hungry.
it started with just a few things and it's grown because every time, like I said, every time I get a craving, it grows, which is really probably not a good thing because I started making cheesecake 2 weeks ago and I can't keep it on the shelf now. And I'm just like, what have I done?
What was the first thing that you started with?
We started with just cookies in a few different squares.
Oh yeah, that makes
thinking that,
sense.
and then we started with some bread and we weren't freezing it. So we were wasting a lot of bread because we were throwing it away when it was old.
Right.
But now we slice it the day it's made and we put wax paper between the slices and put it in a freezer bag so that it's easier to get them apart when you're at home and you pull it out. So
Brilliant.
You're not breaking 2 slices to get 1 slice, Best sellers, wow. I actually don't know. We sell carrot cake.
Oh, okay.
We sell more carrot cake than anything else. We probably sell 10 pans of carrot cake every weekend.
Oh my gosh.
And it's 8 pieces in a pan, so 80 pieces of carrot cake every weekend.
Wow.
I have customers that come in and buy 6, 8 pieces at a time, so they have a piece for their lunch every day, so it's funny. Carrot cake's a big one, peanut butter bliss, which is technically gluten-free without it, right? Butter tarts, huge seller. We sell a lot of bread. What else? Cookies, sell a lot of cookies. We do freshly baked ones or we do the take and bake ones so that you can take them home and bake 1 or 2 at a time. But we sell a lot of everything, so it's really hard to nail it down. Anything that doesn't sell, we don't carry.
Right.
Like we don't keep long, but we don't seem to have those things.
What's your personal favorite thing that you sell?
That I make,
Yeah.
that I eat, pecan passion. I don't know why, but it's like, I call it a butter tart on crack because it's like a shortbread cookie crust with a pecan top. Well, we keep looking for a retail space to move into because we do need a bigger space than what we have here. We're just having a hard time finding something that we can afford. Even though there's so many empty spaces in Calgary, it's not easy to find a space that we can afford to move into. I'm scared of getting in over our heads and then losing everything we've built.
Right.
So anyway, we're looking for that. We're looking for a bigger space and to be open more hours because customers want us to be open more hours. But the market's been a wonderful way to start.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because we came in a little tiny booth outside and we've grown 4 times since we've been here. So
what's the most important thing?
having customers be happy with our product. In the 6 years we've been in business, we've had very few problems with product or having something that somebody wasn't happy with, which I'm always devastated when somebody's not happy with something because I want everybody to be happy and love what we make. Well, according to the Mayo Clinic, it's the fastest growing food disorder in the world.
Oh, wow.
So I think that as time goes on, more and more people are going to require gluten-free faster than any other thing, like nuts or all those things that people have allergies to. We have a lot of customers that aren't even celiac, gluten intolerant or anything that come and buy our stuff because they love it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is kind of nice. I had a guy that was coming every week and getting a banana cream pie. And then he was like, one day he looked up and he said, "It says that everything's gluten-free, but that's not right." And I said, "Yeah, it is." And he goes, "That's the best banana cream pie I've ever had." And I was like, "That's awesome."
I love that.
Yeah,
That's so great.
made me really happy.
Yeah. Why was it important for you to open a gluten-free bakery here in Calgary?
Well, I live in Calgary, so it kind of goes without saying. But it was important because I wanted to be able to share what I could make for myself with other people. That makes me happy too. And when I'm here at the booth and I'm working and people come up and they thank me every day, you know, like, "Thank you for what you do as you've made being celiac livable," you know, which makes me happy. Sometimes I don't see that because I'm in the kitchen more than I'm here, which I find hard because I like the people part of it more than I like the working part of it. I've pretty much managed to make almost everything I could want. Sometimes I'm just so stubborn that I don't give up. It took me months and months and months to get pie crust to work. And I would wake up in the morning and go, okay, what if I did this combination or that combination? Would it work? And finally it came together, and now people tell me my pastry is amazing. So yeah, so you can try a butter tart.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yeah. I got a few things on the back burner right now that I want to make. I have a customer that wants me to do keto Nanaimo bars.
Ooh.
But and I've tried them a couple times. They just haven't turned out to my happy.
For sure.
And I don't like to sell anything I'm not happy. If I don't want to eat it, I don't want to sell it.
For sure.
So that's my thing. I always, if I don't like it, I'm not selling it.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
we sell a lot of quesadillas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Chicken quesadillas are a big seller.
Love a quesadilla.
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people that are celiac say they haven't had a quesadilla for a very long time. Right? So that's kind of nice. For sure, we can do the carrot cake. We can do the pecan passion. Any of the squares you can try. We could even open one of the loaves of bread, and you could try a slice of bread if you'd like. And And then you could take the rest of it home with you.
After chatting with Lori, I was dying to taste the food, but I didn't want to do it alone, so I invited Yuvraj to come and join me to try the food and chat about his experience dating someone with celiac disease. I also invited my friend Caitlin to come chat about her experience having a friend with celiac disease.
Yeah, my name is Yuvraj. Yeah, you are the only person I know who has celiac disease. And I knew it previously as kind of like a maybe lifestyle choice. I didn't know people were had celiac disease they couldn't eat. I thought it's like a choice like any other, like vegan or anything else.
Right.
Yeah, I was introduced to it because you have it. I think you're the first person who I knew about who had celiac disease. And yeah, just getting to know about it through our friendship, like starting when we were 16 or whenever we first met, and then getting to know each other later on. Now I feel like I know a lot of things, but I learn new things every day about it.
So do I.
Yeah.
And I have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the choices are limited. Often you will eat separately, like order from separate places, and if you are going on a trip, let's say, then you'll have to plan in advance, the person who has celiac disease. So the choices in general are limited, and unfortunately they are like costly as well for people who have celiac disease. So
we've talked about that a lot, about how like I feel like I spend at least like 25 or 50% more on food than you.
Easily.
What is it like to eat out with a person who has celiac disease?
It's so hard. It's actually something I noticed was when we would travel together, when we were in London and New York, that's the hardest in terms of finding places to eat, because you're in an unfamiliar place and the stakes are very high if something goes wrong. So you're just kind of like trying to save money because you're traveling and trying to fit everything into your time schedule. So it can be really difficult and stressful when you're in an unfamiliar place and you're looking for places to eat.
Yeah, I remember like sobbing in a shawarma restaurant.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah, because if you're traveling with a group as well, you can't necessarily just do something like easy and do whatever everyone else is doing. So we had to find our specific pret-a-manger. We found our specific restaurants that we could eat at. Yeah.
What advice do you have for someone who has a friend with celiac disease?
Yeah, I think that if you have a friend with any sort of dietary restriction, but specifically celiac, because it is so debilitating if you get gluten, like you just have to be really patient and understanding, because I can understand how it could get, like if you're trying to pick a restaurant or something, I can understand how it can get frustrating. If you're just trying to figure out where you're gonna eat or what you're gonna eat on the menu, but just having patience and empathy for people who will have a very legitimate reaction if something goes wrong. So yeah, I would say patience and make them gluten-free things. Because they love that.
Yeah, you're really good about that. You've made me lots of baking over the
Nice.
years.
Okay, good. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
In general, just increase your awareness. For example, if you're living together and buying groceries together, ingredient-wise, you'll think of some items and you'll say that, well, this won't be gluten-free. But if you read the label, it'll say that it may contain gluten, usually due to the cross-contamination, right? Then if you're living together if you're sharing utensils, for example, cleaning them properly before the gluten-free person can use, that is important. And yeah, generally being aware and being inclusive, taking care of their needs, it's important.
Yeah, I think you actually told me about this. This isn't so much a food thing, but a place where it comes up that people don't think about is in other products that aren't food, like I don't know, like shampoo or things that you would use on your skin. And even when I found out that you couldn't even touch anything with gluten in it, like I thought for the longest time it was just eating it. But even if you were to touch something,
I mean, I can't touch it. I just then have to wash my hands because I don't
yeah,
wanna
but
get,
yeah, but for a lot of people wouldn't think about that.
Totally.
But if you touch something, then something's gonna happen. Your skin's gonna have a reaction, which is just wild to me that it's so like that. There's a disease like that.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
don't have like a reaction on my skin directly, like just from touching, but like mostly it's the cross-contamination thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Oops.
That's okay.
The flatbread that you cook, that is
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I use like a flatbread, and then last time I was in New York, I tried this. I had this flatbread, and it had like brie and prosciutto and peaches and pesto on it. So I just used like a grocery store gluten-free flatbread, and then added all those ingredients on top, and we bake it for like 15 minutes, and it's always delicious.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Most of what I cook, I tried to make it gluten-free.
Yeah, that's true.
Like excluded some of the spices which may contain gluten and so on. So I made my cooking also sort of gluten-free for you. So
Yes, I appreciate it. Yeah, you make lots of really good curries and
thank you.
good Indian food. You have some experience with eating gluten-free. You were, it was something you were trying for a while.
Yeah, I did it for a few years. Oh man, some of the food we ate today actually, like the quesadillas, they were very, very good, and I was shocked that they were gluten-free. I think actually gluten-free cooking has become way more accessible to like create, to find recipes for and ingredients for, as well as to go out and buy. Like you can get a lot of gluten-free things now that taste amazing, if not almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.